Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal, and today we're going to talk all about hats and the Cricut Hat Press. So some of you may be wanting to make hats for yourselves or for gifts, and some of you may want to start a small business, or you already have a small business and you're going to introduce hats into your business. So today I'm going to show you a few ideas that you could sell using your hat press. So let's go ahead and dive right in. When it comes to the Cricut Hat Press, you can purchase, I believe, there may be more by now, two different styles of hats for Cricut. Now, the thing about it is you don't have to purchase the Cricut brand hats. You definitely can. You have the ones for sublimation along with the ones for the HTV. So they have those hats, the settings are already ready to go, but those same settings are going to work for more hats. So all of these hats here are actually the CC brand hats. And whenever it comes to the CC brand, it's a brand that you're going to notice in a lot of high-end boutiques or even just any boutique in general. You can even find them sometimes at your local store, and they usually have embroidery on them or they already have HTV and things like that. Now, CC Beanies is a higher quality hat, which means you can sell them for more. So the place that I order mine from, I usually get them for around $7 or so. And then you guys can sell these, especially after they're done, about 35 to 40 bucks a hat. So with this brand, and the reason why I'm talking about this one in particular is it's really cool because they have them where it has like to hold your ponytail and all of those kind of things. So different types in the back, different designs. You can see we even have glitter ones. We even have velvet ones. There's all sorts of different ones when it comes to this brand here, and they're always changing it up. They have tie-dyed ones. I mean, you name it, they have the hat. So this hat, like I said, it's very high quality hat, so you're gonna be able to sell them for more. Now you can definitely purchase other hats that you can usually get around $2 and $3. I'll link that down below. I purchased those from clothing shop online.com, and you can usually find some hats there for a couple bucks now. But like I said, if you're wanting to sell these, say for example I was only going to sell the glitter hats, these would be perfect to sell for, say for example, a gymnastic squad or a dance squad, cheerleading, all of those things. You're going to be able to advertise and do your very own, right? You can step it up. This is a corduroy one. These are a ton of fun. Lots of different colors you can do, from, mom hats all the way to softball, baseball, and even some holiday stuff. So I really love the corduroy. Now there's even lots of different ones that have the leopard print, like they have the leopard print here, or there'll be all black leopard print and then have maybe the white sides, lots of different ones and lots of different backs too. So for example, these ones have the ponytail. I was trying to see, I think I have all ponytail ones with this one. This one, for example, just has this ponytail one. So you have a high and then a low. So all sorts of different backs on these as well. I was trying to see. So for example, that same one here. So I wanted to show you today just a little variety of hats and then a few designs that you guys could use. Now, all the designs I'm using today are actually only 1+ credit. So if you guys are a Plus member, you can snag these for 1+ credit. But we have tons of designs that you can use. So you've seen them probably, for example, on a t-shirt, but you can still use those same designs on a hat. All right, so I'm going to be using my Cricut Explorer 3 to cut these designs out. And I'm going to be using a mixture between black, white, and then some glitter. And then I've got my Cricut hat press here. I've got my phone to use the heat app, as well as the hat form that comes with the Cricut hat press. All right, now if you guys are interested in this one here, this is another one that's similar to this one that's kind of like a little bit of a rustic hat. These would be perfect for like country sayings and all of those things. Some sarcastic ones would be really cute on here. We have a few more tutorials out there on our channel. You guys can look. We've done sublimation with the hat press. We've done a whole different bundle with a hat press, and this is one of them that I'm using today. So I felt it was fitting to put on a hat. All right, so let's go ahead and head on over to Cricut Design Space so we can cut out some designs. All right, so now that we're over here in Cricut Design Space, these are the 3 designs that I've chose today. So I wanted to show you one using the little bit of the rustic hat here. So I'm going to do Camp Hair Don't Care, and I'm going to do that with the gold glitter. For the white one, I'm doing Small Business Mama. I think it is so cute, and we're going to do that on the black hat. And then Boss Babe. I really want to try to press the glitter, so we're going to try that out today. So we're going to do Boss Babe, and we're going to do that with black HTV. So what I need to do is I've already sized them down. I measured these and I did 4 inches wide on the Boss Babe. And so I'm going to go ahead and weld that one to make sure it's all attached. And then for the Camp Here Don't Care, I did this one at 3.75 wide because it's a little bit of a taller design and you need to keep it under 3 inches high. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm going to go ahead and weld that guy just to make sure it's all together because we're doing one color. Now we have separate pieces in case you want to do different colors. So for example, you may have wanted to do your mountains in blue and stuff like that. So small business, I'm not going to change any of those pieces as well. So I'm going to go ahead and weld those also. All right, so now we're ready to make it. So we're just going to go ahead and hit make it. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it that we're using on the mat and that I'm choosing that 12 by 12. So we're going to hit continue. Now, because I am using heat transfer vinyl, also known as HTV or iron-on, you need to make sure you mirror your design. So you're going to go ahead and do that right here. We're going to click on each colored box and select that mirror. So there we go. So we're going to start off with our white and our black. Those are going to be everyday iron-on. They're both Caesar Easy Weed, what I'm using today. And then our last one will be the glitter. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. And then we're going to choose those settings here. So we're just going to give it just a second to load. All right, so we're going to go ahead and choose everyday iron-on. It's going to warn you again to remind you to make sure it's mirrored. And then now it's ready to load. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this down so we can be full screen. And that way you guys can see me load this because I'm using the Cricut behind me. All right. So the very first one, I'm going to scoot this guy out of our way, I believe was the white one. So let's go ahead and load it. Now, if you're new to die cutting, you need to load it with the glossy side down. And so we're going to go ahead and do that there. Get a piece on here and we're ready to load. So the machine's going to go ahead and take it in, load it, make sure that we have the proper mat, we have enough material, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit that go button. All right, so I've hit go. So we're cutting out our first one, and then our next one's going to be that black piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up really quickly, so that way you guys don't have to just see it kind of cut for a minute. All right, so that one's done. We're going to go ahead and unload this one, and we're just going to flip it over to remove it off the mat. And now we're going to load the black one. I'm going to go ahead and load this one, and then I'll have to jump back onto Cricut Design Space because I didn't choose the same settings. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Everyday Iron-On once again, and now we're ready to load it. We're going to load it, let it read its thing, and then we're going to go ahead and hit go. All right, so I think we're about ready. So we're going to go ahead and hit that go button. There we go. So now it's going to go ahead and cut out Boss Babe for us. So while that's cutting, I can go ahead and keep you guys here now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll weed this one out, if you will. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. So that way I can save the excess. And I'll scoot that out of our way and I'll start to weed. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this here and weed out all of these pieces. Now, I love whenever it comes to iron-on because you can really get some small intricate pieces compared to adhesive vinyl. It's just so much easier to weed. Does anybody else find that to be true? I love HTV. It's one of my favorite materials to work with. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and unload that one, and we're going to get ready to load the next. Now for our last one, we are doing the glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up here and change it to glitter iron-on. So I'm going to go ahead and load this piece on here. Now I have a fresh blue mat, so it's going to hold that glitter nicely. But if you have a used one, it may not hold it the best. So you may want to use like the green or the purple mat. We're going to go ahead and load that for just a sec, let it go all the way through, and then we'll hit that go button. So in the meantime, I'll go ahead and continue to weed this one out here. Now this is going to show you a mixture between a round design like this one and then some more, curved ones and a straight one. So I'm really excited, like I said, to show you this glitter hat. I can't wait. All right, so I'm going to get those out of our way and we are ready to hit go. Let that guy cut everything out. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to weed all these pieces. I have one little guy that does not want to get out of here. Now, you guys let me know down below, have you guys purchased a hat press yet? Is it something that is on your wish list, or are you just not interested? Do you maybe own a bigger hat press, one that's more commercial? So I definitely want to know all of those details down below. All right, here we go. I am so excited. It's one of my favorite products for 2022. I'm really, really excited about it. All right. I think I've got one tiny little piece that was trying to hang around, and I'm like, nope, get out of here. All right. So Small Business Mama, that one came out really cute. So this one is going to go on this black hat. I think it's going to be so cute, which I'm going to drop the camera down here in a minute when we go to press these. Small Business Mama. I love this one because it has these braids on the side. So it's really, really cool. And you can get them in many colors, like I said. So these are just my favorite hats. Love them. All right. I think with a small business, one of my favorite brands comes down to Comfort Colors for the shirts, and then doing like the CC hats is such a good deal. Okay. And then you guys know I'm also a huge fan of like Bella Canvas t-shirts as well. All right here. So we're going to go ahead, get that out of the way, and let's load the last one. All right, so we've unloaded our last one. We're going to go ahead and get that out of our way, and I'm just going to go ahead and continue to weed out these last few pieces here. Now, like I said, this one's pretty quick, so it's not going to take very long. I think the glitter may take me just a second, but this Boss Babe is pretty easy to weed out. Now, this one, if I wasn't doing a glitter hat, and say, for example, I was just putting this on, I would want to do the black glitter. So I would do black glitter HTV, but because I'm already putting it on a glitter hat, I didn't want to use glitter on top of glitter. So we're going to go ahead and weed out those last few pieces. I think that was it, Boss Babe. Now you can put this on a t-shirt as well, tote bag, all sorts of fun things that you can do with this stuff. But this one is going to go on this super cute pink glitter hat. It's going to be gorgeous. So that's going to go there. Now, another thing I want to try really soon, so y'all stick around, and I may even do it on this one. I don't know. Let me think it through, guys. But how cute would that be on the brim of the hat? We're going to be doing that very soon, so y'all stay tuned. We're going to be doing something, but I'm going to stick to the original plan. I'm not going to get off track. Okay, one way to try to figure out where your weed lines are is you can definitely just fold your design in half, and you can kind of see those pieces popping up. So I'm going to go ahead and start to weed this little guy here. And anything that tries to come up with me, I'm just going to pop it right back down. Right. And then what I'm going to do before I get to the other side, I'll go ahead and trim off so that way I don't waste any excess. I just don't want to trim too early, just in case I cut into that design. Because, you know, whenever you're working with glitter or HT, sometimes it's hard to see where you're weeding. So take that guy out now, and we'll get it out of our way. All right, just a few more little pieces here. All right, let's see here. We've got one more. Here we go. We're almost there, guys. And then we're going to start popping these together, and I'm going to start heating up my hat press. And I'm going to drop that camera down in just a second so I can show you guys how to use the heat guide. Now you can use the hat press by itself. You do not have to use the heat app, but you can definitely do that. So you can just bump it up. Say, for example, for glitter, I imagine you would just push all 3. So you push about 3 times. For regular HTV, I would do 2. And so on and so forth. So you definitely do not have to. You can do it manually. You do not have to use the heat guide. All right. So one more little bitty piece here, I think. Actually, I lied. I think I got one more up here. So close. And I'm trying to decide if this piece is just hanging around or if I need to get rid of it. Don't care. I think it does stay there. All right. I think that looks good. Double checking all my pieces. Compare, don't care. Then that glitter, it came out so stinking cute. Okay, so this one is going to go on the green hat like this. I think it's adorable. All right, so here we go. So let me go and drop the camera down below so we can make some hats. All right, so now that I've dropped the camera down below, you guys can hopefully see this a little bit better to see how cute that Boss Babe on this glitter is going to be. This glitter is amazing. They have several different colors. Now they have a white one, and it was not in stock when I purchased these, but I'm waiting for that guy to come in because you know what we're going to do with it. We're going to sublimate on it. So I'm waiting for the white one to come in stock. So if you guys see the white ones, you may want to go snag them ASAP because they're going to be easy to sublimate on. That's going to be awesome. All right, so there's the first design like we're showing you. And then we have Small Business Mama that I did in white. Like I said, I'm doing it on this black cat here that has this really pretty braiding. So I'm going to do this one. And then this one here is that grunge hat. These are super trendy, have always been. They're a ton of fun. And then we've got it like this. Now, what's really awesome is you don't have to pull off your tags. You can leave all your tags and all of that stuff. It's just when you go to do these, you want to pull out the paper. So you want to pull this paper out and then you can put that back in once you do it. All right. All right. So let's start off with the regular. Start off with this black one here. And so let's go ahead and get our little hat press ready. So we've got the heat guide ready to go. So I'm going to click on my hat press here and hopefully it's going to choose. There we go. So we're going to choose start a new project. I'm going to choose transfer material and I'm going to put everyday iron on. I think I chose mesh. Everyday iron on. And then we're going to choose the material. So for example, this one's gone on 100% cotton. I'm going to hit next. It's going to tell us we have a 5-second and then we're going to press it for 90 seconds and let it cool. So we're going to send, and then here we go. All right, so it's sending all of that information on over. I've got to actually turn it on first. So now it's sending it on over, and then now it's going to tell you. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So it's going to tell you what the settings are at right now. And so I'm actually going to hit cancel, and we're going to send settings again. There we go. So now you can see the 5 seconds. So it's going to tell us what exactly it's at because on here, you don't have that. You don't have a screen on your hat press. So on your app, it's going to tell you, where it's currently at, and it's going to tell you to press for 5 seconds. So to prep up our hat, so let's get this guy out of the way. All right. We're going to take our hat. This is going to be the bottom, and then this is the top. So what we're going to do is we're just going to load this guy on here, and you want it to be nice and snug. So if it's not, you're going to want to adjust your little piece in the back. You can definitely do that. So you're just going to pop this guy on here. Now, one thing that I know from pressing hats is the first thing you actually need to do is, I forgot to pull out the cardboard on this one, is this piece right here. All right, your sweatband, you want to pop that out. So you want this to be outside and then it goes over. So that's not going to, I'm going to show you in just a second. We're going to go on top because I don't believe that Cricut talks about that, but you're not going to get even pressure if you don't pull that sweatband down. All right. So hopefully you guys are going to see this in just a second. Let me just get it on here nice and snug. There we go. So you want it nice and flat, right? So you want this to be so flat. So you can see that there. See where I have that sweatband out? So I highly recommend y'all do not skip that step. Now it's telling us for 5 seconds, we're going to pre-press. So we're going to go ahead and put it on here. We're going to hit go. And you're going to notice that it's going to start that timer for that 5 seconds. So one more second and there we go. So now it's going to change it to 90 seconds. So let's go ahead and get this on here. And I'm going to go ahead and get my heat tape ready to go. So we've got the strong tape. Cricut has designed out some strong grip heat resistant tape. Now I've been doing hats for a while now. So this was super smart on their part because with normal heat tape, it's not sticky enough and it wants to pop up. So this was super, super smart on their part and it works great. So if you guys will give me a second to get it started. I have not put this one in a tape dispenser yet. I know it's hard to believe because you guys know how I am with my tape dispensers. All right, so you really don't need much. I'm just going to go ahead and trim this guy down. Make sure this guy's staying awake. Here we go. So we're going to find our center here. So right about here looks good to me. All right, you're going to tape down one side and then you're going to tape down the other. There we go. Okay, so that looks good to me. And now we're going to go right on top here. We're going to push down and we're going to hit that go button. So you want light pressure. I have learned I have a heavy hand and I really want to give it some pressure, and that will leave crease marks on your hat. You will have the mark of your press. Now you could, slowly move your little hat press around like this without shifting that plastic at all. So you could definitely do that. And it's just real light pressure. If you kind of kept a constant motion like this, you're going to avoid those pressure lines for sure. It's just like if you were to use the mini Cricut Easy Press, it would be the exact same thing. So like I said, if you go like this, nice and slow, you're going to keep that constant same amount of heat. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. All right, so we've got 7 seconds here. As you guys can see, I'm keeping that constant movement here. All right, so 1 second. There we go. Now this is a hot or warm pill. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully peel away. Whoop. And I almost messed up my mama. So I'm going to carefully move this out of the way. I'm going to take my weeding tool here because you see where mama the M tried to come up with me. And so what we're going to do is just carefully pop this guy back down. I was trying to get it back down to where it wouldn't. Right now it's trying to distort my piece here. Okay, there we go. And then all I have to do is cover that back up, and then I can just push it again for a few more seconds. I honestly don't think it's going to take very much. So I've just kind of missed a little bit here on the end. So if you have something like that similar, you can do the exact same thing. Boom, looks great. Now I messed up. You guys can see my little wiggle mark there, but it looks amazing. I love the Small Business Mama on this one. I think this would be the perfect hat to add to your small business and sell, or whether you have a big business. But I think it's so cute. And like I said, it has the ponytail holder on the back. So cute. And like I said, I've linked all of the hats that I'm using today or showing today down below so you guys can check them out. And it's actually just one link. It goes to all of these ones. You can just go through all the different kinds. So that way we don't have a ton of links down there, but we do have these linked down below for you. But that Small Business Mama came out so cute, and that would be adorable on a hat. So you could have a matching hat, t-shirt, coffee mug, cell phone case. You could do the whole 9 yards. So you could just have a few different designs and then have the whole, you can get the keychain, etc. So lots of different things you could do with this design. All right, so we're going to set this one out of the way. And once again, so once you're done, you can pop this back in here. So that way you're ready to sell. So you can put that back in there. So that way it keeps its form. Get it back. So that way it keeps its form so you can put it on the shelf and ready to sell. All right, so we're going to set that one out of the way, and we're moving on to the next. We're going to move on to the fancy glitter one. I've been so excited to do ever since I seen this online and got it in. I could not wait to show y'all. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to tighten this up. And here we go. So we're making sure everything is nice and smooth. Now this one, we need to pre-press, but I'm going to avoid it because it's glitter. So I'm not going to do it. So we're going to hit done. And then we're going to do, I'm going to choose that exact same settings, send, because we're doing the exact same thing. All right. So it's going to tell us 5 seconds, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that. So you can skip. So see where it says 5 seconds? I'm going to skip it because this is glitter. And also because I want to protect my glitter, I am going to use a piece of parchment paper. I'm just going to trim it down to size, just because I don't want this iron sitting directly on this glitter. All right, I'm worried I'm going to distort it in some sort of way. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to center this guy up, making sure it looks good like that. I think that's going to be adorable. And then we're going to go ahead and cut us 2 more pieces of this tape. Like I said, this tape goes a long way. When you first purchase your Cricut Hat Press, it comes with this roll. So it does come with a roll. All right, now, I think that's centered. I'm trying to look at my camera here just to double check here. I think it looks good. We're going to get one side down. And then this one's going to be a little bit tricky too, because it's a little bit where the way it's shaped. So hopefully everything is going to work out all right. So I'm going to have to give this a little bit of pressure moving it around. So I'm going to cover it with that parchment just to protect the hat. So now we're going to get it down. I'm going to hit go. And this time I'm going to give just a little bit of pressure because I'm wanting to push down on that center, because that center is wanting to kind of push against my design. And I'm worried about my design going down flat. So I'm just giving a little bit of pressure in that center, but because I'm giving that constant motion, I think it's going to be all right. So I'm just constantly moving this little guy. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up for the next 60 seconds. All right, so we're down to our last 15 seconds. As you guys may see me moving my parchment, I'm just keeping it. I do not want this iron to touch my glitter because I don't want to melt anything. I'm trying to be super careful with it. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. Let's see how it worked. Here we go. So we're going to let it cool for just a second. Now, if you guys have seen me do this in the past. So I use my scissors, sometimes the back of them, to really push this while it's hot. I'll use my scissors to really push the HTV down because it's not necessarily that it needs more heat or anything. It just needs to be pushed down in there. And so I can see I have a little spot over here that doesn't seem like it's really adhered. So I'm just going to use my nail for a second to kind of rub that down. All right, so I may have to come back on that one. So let's go ahead and see how this stuck really quickly. So that looks like it's worked out really great. I love it. Let's see if that will carefully let go. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy out of my way. I'm going to get that parchment and I'm going to press it one more time over in that corner. So it's that same corner I'm not getting close enough to over here. So I'm just rubbing it just a little bit more just to get it down in there. All right. That should be pretty good. I love the way that this came out. It is so stinking cute. And once again, I totally forgot. You know what I did? I forgot to pull out the cardboard and I totally forgot to pull down the sweatband. So that's probably one reason, honestly, for this particular one, while this corner down here, because that's sweatband there. But I'm pretty fortunate that everything else went on there really nicely. So Boss Babe on the glitter hat, it worked out great. Once again, if you can get your hand on the white ones, we are going to be able to sublimate on those guys. So these designs, you can do the sublimation, but this is going to be another great hat that's going to be perfect to sell. This will be a ton of fun. And like I said, these glitter hats too would be perfect for, you know, a dance group or, you know, gymnastics and cheerleading and all of the things, even softball teams, you know. I mean, you guys could create an entire line, an entire brand using these designs. So it's really, really cool. So love the way that this one came out as well. We're going to set it out of the way. Now, before we even get started, I'm going to make sure there's no paper and I'm going to pull this guy over. So we're going to be doing glitter. So let's go back here and let's start a new project, transfer material. We're going to be doing glitter iron on this time. And then we're going to choose that it's 100% cotton and we're going to do next and send. So we're ready. So we're going to go ahead and get this on here. Now I'm wondering, because I chose the cotton setting for this, if I should have chose polyester for that because it's glitter. And I'm going to say that's probably what I should have done. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wring out our sweatband here and then get it down. Like I said, I highly recommend y'all do that because you're not going to get a nice even pressure if you don't. And it only takes you a second to pull that guy out. And it's not going to distort your hat or any of those things. So I'm going to pull that guy out. There we have it. Okay. So once again, you're just going to make sure your surface is nice and smooth. 5-second preset. So we're going to go ahead and do that again. We're going to pre-press. Make sure we get out all of that moisture. So I'm just kind of running across here. Looks good. Set it down. And now we're going to get that design ready. So before I get the design ready, let's go ahead and get our pieces of tape here. So we need 2 more pieces of tape. Once again, a little goes a long way. All right, here we go. So let's go and get this down. Now I need to go ahead and trim. You always want to have your design when you're working with your hats as close as you can, because this needs to be able to go right up on the brim without going over. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just kind of looking at this here for a second, guys, just to make sure everything looks straight. I think this looks good. Get that out of our way. Tape down our first side and then the next, and then we're ready. So we're going to go ahead and hit go right on top. And once again, we're just going to keep that constant motion going. And you don't have to do it super fast, just nice and slow. Just is going to avoid, once again, watch that pressure. That's something that I'm learning to do. I'm just so used to giving pressure. So light pressure, and you're just constantly moving this guy to make sure you're getting from one side to the next. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. All right, so we're down to our last 10 seconds. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see how we did. Nice. Now, this is a little bit of a more cold pill, so we're gonna give it just a few seconds. So in the meantime, like I said, I like to take my scissors. You could definitely take your squeegee tool as well. I've just always used the back of my scissors. So if I ever just feel like I need a few more seconds of tack down, but I don't want any more heat, just to kind of get that down in there, I'll do that. Just a little bit for me. Okay, so now we are ready to go. Here we go. I love the way this glitter came out. Now, it may be on camera, it may look like it's blending in, but in person, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully you guys can see that design there. Camp here, don't care. I think that's really, really pretty, especially if you guys like a tone on tone. I think it looks cool. I almost did like an olive green on here and did a tone on tone. That would have been really cool. A white HTV would be good. And that's what's awesome about hats. You can really get away with just white and black HTV and alternate those on your hats because they're just going to pop off there either way. You don't have to do a lot of colors, or you can kind of get up with this glitter and really make it pop. So that's another one. And this is the one that's a little bit more grungy, rustic looking. And I love the way that one came out. You guys can see that pony there. It came out so cute. So you guys can see too, once again, that I left all my tags on there. And then you can just come back in here and pop back in that cardboard like so. So that way it helps keep that form. And then we'll do the same thing. Whoop, that one already has it. I think it was this one we haven't done yet, but I'm not going to worry about that one. This one really keeps its form because it's got that glitter on it. So it's just absolutely gorgeous. And there you guys have it. How super cute did these come out? These are going to make a great addition, whether you guys are making them for yourself, you're making them as a gift for somebody, or you are going to sell these. And look at how cute these are. So you guys can really kind of see that there, your small business. Mama, once again, you can also put this on a t-shirt, coffee mug, keychain, cell phone case, all the way across the board to create an entire line. Same thing with this one. This design right here, you could put it on a sign that you could put in the camper. You could put it on a camping cup, t-shirt, all sorts of fun things to do with this one as well. Same thing with Boss Babe. You guys know that one is a golden ticket. And then you guys can look at that glitter, right? This hat right here is so, so nice. And I would say this hat right here would definitely be like 40, 45 bucks. You guys definitely let me know if you guys know some prices in your area, because one thing I encourage you guys to do is go check out our Facebook community group. If you guys have any questions along the way, or you guys want to see some inspiration, I highly recommend that you guys check it out. We have hundreds of thousands of crafters just like yourself over there that are creating and giving inspiration, as well as if you have a question, we can answer it right away, as well as one of the community members. So I encourage you to check that out. We have it in the description below. And also any of our other social medias. We also have a Facebook page. We have Instagram and TikTok and all of those things. So I definitely encourage you to definitely check those out across the board. But I hope you guys check out these designs. I have all of the designs that I used today linked down below, as well as the supplies. And if you guys have not checked out the hat press, it's one of my favorite items for 2022. And I think it's a ton of fun. Whether you guys are getting it to craft with yourself, this would be something that would be great to do with a teenage kid. So if you're trying to find something to do with your kiddo with supervision, I would definitely check this one out. It's going to be a great thing. And you can make stuff for graduation, Christmas. It's going to be perfect. You can personalize these with the names. Say, for example, if you were going on a vacation, you could put your family's name and do a whole set for family vacation. You could do brides and bridesmaids. We have tons of files for that stuff. So I hope you guys love this. And if you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next one.